Ready to go? Okay. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellick?
Here.
Ms. Karstafen?
Here.
Mr. Bax?
Here.
Mr. Brubaker?
Here.
And Mr. Gebhardt?
Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome to the December 11th, 2019 Elyria School Board meeting. I'd like to introduce our group up here. To my right is Board Member Kevin Brubaker for one last time. To my right, excuse me, to his right is Board Member Jim Bax. I am Greg Ellick. To my left is Board Member and Vice President Annie Karstafen. To her left is Board Member Mike Gebhardt. To his left is our Superintendent Ann Slosh. And to her left is our award-winning treasurer, Joy Clickinger. Okay, I believe we do not have anyone signed up for speaking today, but we do have a very, very special recognition today, I believe.
Sure.
Madam Superintendent, would you like to handle that?
Sure. So, Brubaker, as he's fondly known, we wanted to say thank you for your 4 years, I believe, of service on the school board, always willing to pitch in and help. And I know that you come to these meetings, but many times you're seen at events, especially sporting events, supporting the pioneers. But we wanted to present you with, this is number, I believe, 21 of 50. I think Ed Stewart did these back in the day.
Okay.
Of the Washington building. And they're very nice. So we wanted you to take this as a token of our gratitude for everything you've done for the district. So. You did.
There you go. Nice.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Superintendent, and Mr. Brubaker. Thank you for your donation to the schools. You've made a significant impact to the schools, and you've had a major impact on the master plan, and we're very appreciative of everything that you've done for us here. So you definitely will be missed. Okay, moving along on the agenda to the minutes. The minutes for the November 20th, 2019 meeting have been posted, and I will need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion by Board Member Brubaker. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Board Member Karstafen. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Ellick?
Aye, motion carries. Okay, we kind of skipped over board member discussion, but there is one main item that we would like to discuss. Last month, we went to the OSBA conference, and it was very, very insightful. I think all the board members attended, and Board Member Annie Karstafen would like to share a little something from the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President. At the 2019 OSBA Capital Conference and Trade Show, first of all, on Sunday evening, I had the pleasure of attending the OSBA Black Caucus dinner, and the speaker for the dinner was the State Board of Education Vice President, Charlotte McGuire, and she spoke on the subject of equity and justice for all in education. We had a very good turnout of people to come because we were out on last year. We didn't have a dinner, so this year we had a very good turnout. So we were happy to be a part of that. Also, from one of the sessions that I attended, it was from Mentor School, and Mentor School District presented on school safety. And representing were the superintendent, William Porter, Communications and Marketing Director, the Director of Business Services and Operations, Mentor Police Captain, and Mentor Fire Chief. The superintendent spoke about conducting quality safety meetings with the school administrators, the fire chief, the police department, and the sheriff department, and the city managers. And he said that they had meeting quarterly, and he expounded upon the meetings about the success of the collaborations and training. And they were having training sessions, and the sessions were used to provide safety for the environment, for the safety for the environment and the protection for both the students and also for the staff. And it was shaped upon mutual respect between all agencies. And also he talked about that they have what is called an initiative called accountability. And in their accountability initiative, it's called If You See Something, Say Something. And also, he spoke about them having police cruisers, just having the police officers to stop by the school districts, stop by the elementary schools or stop by the middle schools, so that the students would become comfortable with the police officers on the campus and begin to know the city police officers. But then he also said it brings a feeling of safety and securities just having the patrol cars outside on the premises. Thank you.
Great, absolutely. Yeah, I also attended that. That was a very good session. Any other items from the OSBA conference? No? Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. Moving along on the agenda to the treasurer action items. Madam Treasurer, you're up.
Thank you. This evening, I have the monthly financial reports for the month of November 2019. We have donations. I'd like to accept and express appreciation for the gifts that are listed in your agenda. Number 3, purchase orders, to approve the attached list of purchase orders in order to comply with our purchasing procedures. And the OSBA membership, to approve the OSBA annual membership and the OSBA Legal Assistance Fund membership for January through December of the year 2020. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Do I have a motion to approve the the treasurer action items?
So moved.
I have a motion by Board Member Karstoffen. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Board Member Gebhardt. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstoffen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Okay, Treasurer, other items this evening.
The only other item I have is to appoint members Jim Bax and Mike Gebhardt as the primary representatives, and Annie Karstoffen and Greg Elick as alternates for an expulsion appeal hearing.
Okay. And that hearing is on January 8th, and that's 4 o'clock. Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Board Member Brubaker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Karstoffen. Questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstoffen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Any other reports today, Madam Treasurer?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Moving along to the OSFC Sports Complex. We do have a very, very special presentation today, and Madam Superintendent, would you like to share this rendering?
So I get to do a lot of the really neat unveilings up here. And this time, our final rendering of the new Westwood campus. As you can see, this is the layout. This is the existing Westwood building right here. Over here is where we are, kind of in the air. But you can see, we were excited to keep the Wolverine orange, as they call it,
Okay.
on the building as the highlight color out here on the west side, which I think means a lot. I know we talked to the trustees at the township meeting, and they were very excited about that. But as you can see, AVG once again did a really neat job of capturing the building. So this is the final rendering set for our 5 buildings. So it's very exciting. It's hard to believe we've been at this several years now. So more to come soon. Now we go through the next steps and are able to get this all going. I believe they talked about breaking ground in January.
Pretty soon, yeah, they've been surveying the land and getting ready to start moving dirt. So they're looking for an early site package and then GMP to follow.
Okay.
Wow.
So the other veneer brick will match all the other buildings,
Right.
like the high school and all the other, and then just the accent for this will be the orange and that. Is that correct, or are
Well, they really tried to match the brick that's on the existing Westwood since they were connecting it.
Okay,
So it's a little different than the other buildings, mainly because they connected the buildings with using the fine arts areas, we're calling it. For those that aren't aware of that, the growth that's happening on the west side of Elyria right now is huge. Westwood has seen its highest enrollment in years. They're our biggest middle school now, over 500 students out on Fowl Road, all the building going on. So we got creative because we couldn't ask for more money from the state, and we're able to use part of the old building for the fine arts and the gym, and we're able to add 8 classrooms in the new building because of that.
okay.
So,
I believe this is the only building with a black brick.
yep,
They
Okay.
did try to make every building a little bit unique and with its own identity. For example, Eastern Heights has
Right.
a blue kind of motif to it, when it used to be the Eastern Heights Knights.
Mhm.
royal blue,
Yep.
Yeah,
So they're trying, for the most part, they're all the same, but they do have their own unique
sure.
characteristics.
Okay, good.
Okay.
That's outstanding. Any questions or comments
Leave
from?
these over here
No,
for people to
That's
look
good.
Looks good. All right. Very exciting. Great, thanks for sharing that. And what phase are we in on that? We
at.
have
We
not,
just finished DD.
DD, so we still have to officially approve when the dollars are finalized, the GMP.
Correct.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks for sharing that.
Yep.
Moving along on the agenda to the superintendent action items. Madam Superintendent.
Thank you, President Elick. First of all, we'd like to approve the payment of the following stipends below out of the School Quality Improvement Grant. Also to approve payments of more stipends out of that grant. We have a lot of the teachers that are working together in collaboration on school improvement. Also to approve the overnight field trip for Elyria High School Drama Club to Dublin in March. Dublin, Ohio, that is. And to clarify. And that is it for superintendent action items.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the superintendent action items?
Move to approve.
I have a motion by Board Member Bax. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Board Member Gebhardt. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
And Mr. Ellie?
Aye, motion carries. Okay, personnel action items this evening.
Thank you. First of all, to approve the retirement of the following certified staff. I believe these might be our first 2 of this year. We have Ann Connolly, who is an intervention specialist at Windsor Elementary. She's been at many buildings in the district, I believe. She started at Edison. She has 33 years in, so thank you, Ann, for your 33 wonderful years. And also Kim Greenwood, who has been at Oakwood all 22 years. Also to approve the resignation of the following certified staff. To approve the appointment of the following certified staff. You'll notice there is an RN there. We did hire an RN a couple months ago, and she has decided to terminate her employment, so we found a new one.
Okay.
Also to approve the athletic supplemental contracts of the following certified or classified staff. To approve the following OHSAA football tournament game workers. We were really excited. First time in a long time, maybe ever, that we had an actual tournament game at our stadium, so that's a real highlight. To approve the following game workers for the athletic services. To approve the resignation of the following classified staff. To approve the unpaid leave of absence for the following classified staff. to appoint the following classified administrative staff, to approve the appointment of the following classified staff as detailed below. A lot of these are switching positions for more hours or what have you. And to approve the one-year limited contracts for the following classified staff. And that is all I have under personnel items, although we do have a few to introduce.
Okay, so you've heard the personnel action items as recommended by the superintendent. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Board Member Karstoffen. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Board Member Brubaker. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. And Jamie, do we have anybody here today? Okay.
We have 5 people to introduce
great.
today. Good evening. Our first person we're going to be introducing is Peggy Betts. She is our new benefits coordinator and executive specialist in the Human Resources Department.
Welcome, Peggy.
Eric Francis. He is our new operations supervisor.
Welcome, Eric.
Laura Balka. She is coming from our substitute personal attendant to special education para at Windsor.
Welcome, Laura.
Tracy Juke. She's coming from substitute personal attendant to special education para at the high school.
Welcome.
And Cheryl Wacker. She is a educational transition paraprofessional at Ely.
Welcome.
Welcome everybody to our Pioneer family.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, moving along on the agenda, we are down to the superintendent report.
Just other than happy holidays, we do have punch and cookies if everyone would like to take part at the end of the meeting, but we just wanted to also invite everyone to the concert at the high school, the Holiday Spectacular. It's both Friday and Saturday at 7. And board members, if you would like to go, please let Mr. Brown know, and he can make sure there are tickets available for you. But it has sold out the last two years,
great.
so make sure you get your tickets and get them early.
Okay.
It's probably one of my favorite concerts of the year, so.
Great.
But other than that, happy holidays.
Okay, great, super. Thank you, Madam Superintendent. Okay, moving along on the agenda, Board of Education. As you know, we're closing up the year, and we'll be starting a new year at our next meeting. So we will be having an organization meeting. So I'd like to move to adopt a resolution to appoint Greg Elick, myself, as President Pro Temp for the organization meeting on January 8th, 2020, right before the regular meeting on January 8th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Board Member Karstoffen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Bax. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Also, too, we've been working on the easements, and we're finally finalized that with the Abbey Road School. So I'd like to ask for approval of the resolution directing the board president and treasurer to sign the easement agreements as detailed below. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
I have a motion by Board Member Bax. Do I have a second?
Second.
And I have a second by Board Member Brubaker. Any questions or comments?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
we're giving them this, and we're paying them thousands of dollars to move that pole. Is that my understanding?
Mr. Bax?
That is, I have not seen the revised numbers on that. But those poles had to be moved to clear that. So the original numbers in my mind still stand.
Okay.
That was just brought up at the core meeting, and they have not said anything about the exact amounts yet.
So we're giving them land. Okay.
We hold title.
You-
We hold title to the property.
The easement is a right-of-way, isn't that? I'm
We're
sorry.
not giving them any land, we're giving them an easement which allows them to
Right.
put their facilities into two areas that are the subject
Right.
of the easements.
Yeah, that's what
And that's being done so that the poles which are blocking the entranceway to the new school
Can be moved.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions or comments?
Good question.
With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Okay, last item on here. I would like to request an executive session for the purpose of considering the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee, and for the purpose of considering the purchase of property for public purposes or the sale of property for competitive bidding, and to consider matters required to be kept confidential by federal law or regulations or state statutes with possible action to follow as authorized by Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22. Do you have a motion?
So move.
Okay, I have a motion by Board Member Bax. Do I have a second? Second by Board Member Gebhardt. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Brubaker? Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries off to executive session. Thank you.